Breaking news tonight. President Trump announcing another big staff change. In a tweet this evening, he said, quote, "I am pleased to announce that effective 4/9/18, Ambassador John Bolton will be my new national security advisor. I'm very thankful for the service of General H.R. McMaster, who has done an outstanding job and will always remain my friend. There will be an official contact handover on 4/9. I'm Tom Shalhoub in for Kennedy. And with me now, yes, incoming White House National Security Advisor John Bolton. Ambassador Bolton, welcome to the show.
Glad to be with you. It's not red eye, but I'm glad to be here.
Hey, just thanks for not canceling. Thank you, sir. Listen, big news, obviously. I'm going to read you a headline here and get a reaction because the reactions are happening as we speak. Vox says, John Bolton, Trump's ultra-hawkish new national security advisor explained. And they say, Bolton has recently called for war with both Iran and North Korea. Would you say that's accurate?
Of course it's not accurate, but it's what I'd expect from Vox.
Very simple. Well, look, you recently wrote an editorial for the Wall Street Journal, right? You said some sort of strike is likely unavoidable unless China agrees to regime change in Pyongyang. That's right? So you would describe yourself as a hawk on North Korea, correct?
Well, let me just say, in the roughly hour and a half I've had to digest the news getting out about this, I've had to think about what to do about everything that I've said in my public career before now, the op-eds, the books, the speeches, the interviews, and so on. And as I'm sure your researchers have made clear to you, you probably have a list of questions that could go on for some time. I honestly think it's not appropriate for me to talk about that vast body of my commentary because it's out there. People can read it. They can draw their or listen to it if it's a broadcast. They can draw their own conclusions from it. But my job when I get the job on April the 9th, as the president has just told me, then my advice needs to be private to him unless he wants to let it go public. So kind of my commenting on the things I've said before, I think is not fair to the president, and so I want to avoid commenting on it. But I'd welcome your continued reading from my collected works. I can't object to that.
Well, I'll keep reading. I'll read in private, and I'll read after the show as well. Let me get some immediate reaction. This is from Senator Bernie Sanders. John Bolton was part of the effort to mislead the U.S. into the disastrous Iraq war and has supported military action against North Korea and Iran. He was too extreme to be confirmed as UN ambassador in 2005 and is absolutely the wrong person to be national security advisor now. Does that reaction surprise you?
Well, I'm gratified by Senator Sanders' endorsement. I welcome it. Let me just say, with respect to being confirmed, of course, the Democrats resorted to a filibuster in 2005, and in the effort to break the filibuster, there were 57 votes in favor of my nomination. Under today's circumstances, of course, with the filibuster for executive branch and judicial nominees eliminated, I would have been confirmed. So, Senator Sanders, I'm sorry you don't get a shot at me this time, but maybe next time.
Yeah, because this position, just to be clear for everyone, there's no confirmation process. You're appointed by the president.
That's correct.
What is it with you and confirmations? I remember when that happened, when George W. Bush appointed you as ambassador to the UN, or he was going to appoint you, and there was this long, drawn-out thing about you being confirmed. And I can remember the cable news, the talking heads, the interviews, congressmen, senators, everyone talking about describing you as kind of a meanie. You were a mean guy. You yelled at people. You were nasty. That was not the experience I had working with you on Red Eye, Ambassador. But why? What is with you and confirmations?
Well, the confirmation process for the UN ambassador was not that much different than the confirmation process I had to be Undersecretary of State. And fundamentally, this was a disagreement about policy. I remember in my confirmation hearing in 2001 for the undersecretary job, Joe Biden, who is always candid for sure, said, look, my disagreements with you over the years have been because you're too competent. I'd really wished you were rather dumb because I'd have had a better shot at you. You're a competent and honorable man. And I think that what has happened to the confirmation process is not just in my case, but in many, many others, is that it's gotten so bitterly partisan that everything you did from about third grade on up that dissatisfied somebody gets dragged into public view, and of course the media tends to take the worst case view of what it is you're accused of, and positions harden and rational discussion stops. So I think that's bad for the republic. I think it discourages people from considering public service. People say, why should I put myself through that process when your character is maligned, especially in confirmation, when people can say almost anything, but lest you offend the dignity of the Senate, you can only speak at your confirmation hearing. It really, it's very one-sided, and I think, as I say, harmful to our system of government that discourages people from putting their names forward for public service.
I imagine you're going to be, there's a transition period. Are you going to be meeting with H.R. McMaster and working things out?
I certainly hope so. I knew H.R. before he took this position. I have read his excellent study, Dereliction of Duty, on the role of the Joint Chiefs of Staff during the Vietnam War. I'd heartily recommend it to anybody who's interested in either Vietnam or civil-military relations. It'll be an honor to work with him in the transition, with him and his team, and I look forward to that.
You have, like I said, the words that people describe you, if you flip the channels on cable news, people talk about aggressive, you know, that you're more hawkish, probably more so than H.R. McMaster. That's the way they're describing it. Is the president making a change in direction?
You know, again, I'm not sure that's for me to comment on. I think the president had some very nice and appropriately very nice words for H.R. tonight, said he would always be a friend. I think the president is not afraid of people with strong views. I think it benefits the decision-making process in the executive branch when people are able to lay their views out in a polite, civil fashion, which I hope to do, as I believe I've done in the past. Some people just find it difficult to deal with opinions they disagree with, and unfortunately they tend to take it personally. But that's not how I see it. I think the clash of views is the clash of views, and hopefully you get closer to the right decision as a result of it.